I fear God and I fear the FBI. Only two things I'm scared of in life. God first and the FBI.
Things you didn't know about 6ix9ine's kinks. The rap world may be full of different kinds of stories right now, but the one that's engulfing much of it is the current case of the controversial rapper 6ix9ine. The rapper has been in trouble with the law before, but now he's facing some serious charges. Charges that could possibly end up with him getting life in prison. But there are many factors of the case that you may not know about, or just don't know all the details about it. So allow me to break down some of them for you. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to King Trending. Number 5. From years to life. The most important thing about this case is the charges that he's facing. Tekashi aka 6ix9ine, along with several members of his crew and former manager, were all arrested in November of 2018 for various charges. Upon being charged in a court of law, the charges put against him include trafficking illegal substances and firearm charges, of which were apparently ordered by 6ix9ine himself. Now, as in the law of the United States, certain crimes come with certain punishments and penalties, including jail time. Some of these, ironically enough, don't carry a large jail sentence, and deals can be made. However, the two words you need to know here are racketeering and conspiracy. Racketeering is the act of getting an illegal item in order to sell it, and by the extension causing harm. Conspiracy can mean many different things, but here it's meant as a premeditated plan to commit serious harm to a person, including taking their life. As noted, certain acts of violence were allegedly orchestrated by 6ix9ine himself, which basically makes it as bad as if he was holding the weapon himself and committing the act. This in turn could actually be a lot worse, as he was able to convince someone to do the act for him. In regards to racketeering, he was apparently in the market for illegal items to sell to help boost his street cred, as well as help out a local group, if you get my drift. While certain crimes carry certain weights, both of these crimes carry life sentences in prison, as they're considered particularly heinous crimes. And while he has pleaded not guilty for these crimes, that doesn't mean much if he can't be cleared of the charges. Thus, he's on thin ice for numerous reasons, and if he goes any deeper into the waters that he's in, he won't be able to make it back to the surface. So you might be wondering, what else from his past is haunting him? Well, number 4. He's had numerous incidents with the law. One of the reasons that rap music isn't well liked by the general population of non-rap listeners is that the music is often synonymous with the explicit lyrics or singers that are tied to crimes of all sorts. For the record, part of that is true. The history of rap is littered with singers who have various affiliations with groups that aren't above board. But one of the biggest questions going on in 6ix9ine's case is whether he was actually a gang member. He certainly said that he is one, but is he? That's kind of hard to prove, but his actions show that he does act like one, and not in the good way. First and foremost, even before he was a big name in the rap game, 6ix9ine was doing acts that were either questionably illegal or illegally flat out. During one particular incident, he made a video with some friends that showed him with some girls exposing themselves on camera, and that video was put online. In theory, that is not illegal, except the girls were underage, and that's a crime, a big one. Tekashi noted multiple times that he did not know that they were underage, and his biggest defense outside of that was that he never touched them, which the video honestly proved. But the act of itself got him in big trouble with the law. He got a plea deal, but one of the many stipulations, including the condition that he had to be clean for the next few years in terms of trouble. Oh, the irony. And he had to go and get his GED. Would you like to take a bet as to whether he actually got that part done? Hint, he didn't. The only ironic part about this case is that despite it going on for years, his current case made that one irrelevant. And so, to proceed fully with it, the judge ordered on December 5th that the case was closed. But that wasn't the only problem with the law that Tekashi had. Fast forward to 2018, and an incident in Houston, Texas occurs. 6ix9ine attacked a fan who was trying to record him, and 6ix9ine went off, grabbed the kid, and both he and his bodyguards threatened him in order to get the video erased. He was later arrested in New York, as there was a warrant for his arrest out for him in Texas. The only reason that 6ix9ine was able to skate away from this was because the kid came forward and asked the judge not to prosecute. The two even took a picture together afterwards. Suspicious? Nah. And the case is there and still ongoing. Want to keep on going? Okay. Remember the people arrested with 6ix9ine in November? Well, in April 2018, they apparently opened fire at various places that happen to have another rapper named Casanova in the vicinity. Why does that matter? Well, Casanova and 6ix9ine have had their own little beef going on at the time, and this led to some very heated conversations. And while Tekashi himself was not at one of those scenes per se, many think that he organized the attack. In May, he was arrested and charged with driving with a suspended license and parking in front of a fire hydrant, of course. And the very next day, he got into a fight with a police officer. You just can't make this stuff up. It's ridiculous. And it goes on, and trust me, it goes on for a while. So you might be asking, what does this all have to do with the case in hand? Simple. It shows past incidents and the character or the lack thereof of 6ix9ine. Proving intent is a big thing in a court of law. By showing all the incidents and behaviors that he's shown in the past 4 years, it'll go a long way to prove that he is either very guilty or innocent by circumstance. Number 3, lap of luxury. As noted before, one of the biggest questions with 6ix9ine is the question of, is he a gang member? Well, by his own admission, he both is and isn't. In the public, he openly proclaims that he is and sings often about it. But then after certain court cases, he notes that he's not. In an early interview in his career, he noted that, I started rapping for fun, to be honest with you. I didn't really want to be a rapper or whatever, he told No Jumper. I just started making music because everybody was like, yo, you look mad cool. That's a clear sign that he wasn't in the groups that he proclaimed he was in with his songs, which might lead to the fact that when he was first put in prison after his arrest in November, that he begged the judge to not be put in the general population. For that, he stated that if he was, many criminals from those groups would try to hurt him. The judge initially denied his request, and to Gen Pop, he went. However, he was later transferred to an area that was full of non-violent offenders. This could go a long way with his trial, but it's hardly the biggest break he wants. However, despite his incarceration, he does have access to certain things, such as his girlfriend. He was able to mail her a very expensive watch for her birthday, and then he was allowed to be with her during a prison visit, and she was more than happy to take a picture with them together. So aside from being in prison now, 6ix9ine is not stressing too much at all, which might be a big part of his plan. His court date is scheduled for September 4th, and his lawyer is apparently working on him to get him bail. And it's going to cost him about $1.5 million, which at present is about half his net worth right now at max. In that regard, his current situation and future situation are still up in the air. Number 2, the feds have an informant. One of the biggest things that the federal government has to prove in this court is that 6ix9ine not only had a hand in these acts, but that he ordered certain ones. They built up their case to give him the max sentence. Now they have to follow through on it, but it won't be that easy. Laws are tricky, and without solid proof, they can't charge him with the counts that'll get him the life sentence. However, they may be an informant within the group. According to the FBI, they had someone inserted into the group, and they recorded conversations featuring 6ix9ine and other members of his ex-crew before they were fired by 6ix9ine. More on that in a sec. The records that have been released seem to indicate that the crew was not happy with 6ix9ine and wanted to hurt him badly. The firing I mentioned earlier was in regards to 6ix9ine firing his entire security team and manager, all of whom were arrested with 6ix9ine in November of 2018. Now, on one hand, you may think that this was good news for 6ix9ine, as it proves that he was right to get rid of them, and he now proved that they were violent offenders, not him. But that's not the whole story. For the records also had the crew stating that they were mad that Tekashi was trying to separate himself from a known criminal group, which seems to indicate that he was indeed part of the group in some capacity. They even noted that because he was betraying the group, they would seek payback. All of this is rather a mixed bag of news, however. It is possible that there are more tapes, as this one didn't have 6ix9ine in them, but only mentioned. If more evidence of this nature arrives and reveals even more details of the case to the jury and the judge, it could still go either way. Number 1, back in bold or behind bars. Usually, in celebrity cases, the outcome is pretty much known before the trial even starts. We've seen it all. The power of celebrity comes through in the back way for the actor, singer, or whoever they are. But with this case, and with 6ix9ine, it's not that clear of a cut. The evidence against him is legitimate. He was caught with illegal items. He was not alone in the arrest as noted. The FBI went full throttle in getting everyone connected to him, and they seem pretty content with their findings. Not to mention they have 8 more months to get confessions, more evidence, and testimony to help put him away. Just how good that evidence is, if 6ix9ine isn't stressed about it. He's really calm, eerily calm even. what does he know that we don't? And even that the FBI doesn't? The fate of 6ix9ine is still unclear, and that's rather interesting in its own right. If he does somehow get off, that would give him all the credibility and figurative ammunition to shoot his career to the next level. He'll likely proclaim how he was set up, and that the goodness within him prevailed, and people will rally around that. But if he is convicted, it will send shockwaves throughout the industry, and the FBI might go bolder in who they decide to try and take down next. The future is always unclear, and that's why it's always out of reach until it's there. These next few months are going to be very key in regards to the case, and so much more. So there you have it. Are you now informed about what's going on with 6ix9ine? Yeah, do you think that he's going to get out, or will he get the full sentence and spend the rest of his life in jail? But be sure to subscribe to King Trending as we break down more rap news and music as it comes out. Hey, just a reminder that we're changing up the giveaways. From now on, we're offering the Galaxy Note 9, the one that comes with the exclusive Fortnite skin, the new iPhone X Max, which we'll pre-order for you, and the new Apple Watch Series 4, which we'll also pre-order for you. The winner gets to decide between these three. Make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, drop a like, and comment the hidden message in the video for a chance to win. You got nothing to lose. Go for it.